trauma bonds. Got close off of battle scars. Equal pain, so we think it's equal game. Same team, but it's different hearts. Same goals, but it's different shots. Thought we was winning the same. Turns out you were just running me game. Should've known, but I couldn't guess it. It's a damn shame.
Welcome back to another episode of Hoop MCs, brought to you by your co-host Hassan and my co-host Nassim. What's up, baby?
What's up, Hassan? How are you this week or this day?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Different format. We decided we're gonna switch things up now with playoffs. It would probably be best to kind of do like a little late night post game analysis, get like an organic reaction. We're recording this June 1st, after a couple of Game 5s here. So, Nassim, let's go ahead and just start it from the top. Actually, let's go ahead and start with the Lakers and Suns. Game 5 here today, played in Phoenix. It was a blowout.
Yeah, that was talk about an underwhelming game. Me and you were literally talking about on Saturday how excited we were. And I get Anthony Davis is out, but I expected a lot more, not from just LeBron James, but from the team in general. Especially when Marcus Morris, he starts the game with a three. And I was like, oh boy, the Lakers are going to have one of those games. And it just went downhill from there.
Yeah. Obviously, when we recorded our last episode, I think that was before you had mentioned like Phoenix needs to come out strong in order to like make this a competitive series. And they did. Anthony Davis obviously went down, so that in itself, I think, helped Phoenix kind of come out strong and take over the game. And now, obviously, with today's game, Game 5, completely lopsided here. LeBron James obviously had a tough task to go into Phoenix, try to steal one, but, man, they looked horrible.
Yeah, I don't even think Dennis Schroeder had a point. Am I wrong?
I don't believe he did either. I think Dennis Schroeder had gone. He's in a contract year as well. He went 0 for 9. He had 0 points, minus 17 box plus minus.
Yeah, it's not too much to dive into this game, man. They just looked horrible from the get go.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I don't want to spend too much time here, but LeBron James, 7 points, 5 assists at the half. Lakers had 36 points.
Wow.
He ended up finishing with 24 points and 7 assists. But I was really disappointed with him just because of the fact that he didn't come out aggressive. Obviously, everybody knew, like, for the Lakers to have a chance, even though this is a pretty, like, good squad as it is, he needed to go out there and make a statement to really, like, carry the offense. Obviously, Anthony Davis is not there, so he needs to assume that position, and he just laid a duck there, and really the whole team did. So it's not completely on him, but I would have liked to have seen him set the tone.
Yeah, exactly. It's not fully on him, like you said, but he needs to be aggressive. I mean, he came out and said that he can shoulder the weight while AD is gone, and I get like he's saying that to keep his team confident, but I mean, you got to go out there and actually show that you're trying to do that. I mean, he just wasn't aggressive enough for my liking.
Yeah. Last point to touch up on the Lakers-Sun series. Game 6 will be, I believe, on Thursday, if I'm not mistaken. Obviously, it's going to be played back in Staples Center. We don't know the status of Anthony Davis, but another another element of this series is now with Chris Paul's. He obviously re-aggravated, I think, the same shoulder injury. He came back, but he didn't play that much minutes to begin with, so we obviously don't know. He was obviously like playing with that injury throughout this whole series since that occurred in Game 1. Tell me, what do you expect in Game 6? How does that impact the Suns in terms of to close out this series? Do you think the advantage is with the Lakers? Give me your thoughts.
Realistically, I don't see Anthony Davis coming back. So I know the series all depends on that, but I mean, it seems like they're doing what they did with Chris Paul a couple years ago, where they're downplaying the groin injury, where he's day-to-day, quote-unquote.
Yeah.
But it's it's a groin injury at the end of the day, and it's not an easy thing to overcome. So I don't see Anthony Davis returning for the rest of the series. If that proves to be the case and Chris Paul is healthy, I wouldn't be surprised to see the Suns eke out Game 6 and by 10 points or something, considering those factors.
Okay.
But if that's not the case, CP's hurt or Anthony Davis returns, then this is going to 7.
Yeah, I would expect. I would agree with you. I think maybe they wait out Anthony Davis one more game. They probably have a little bit more faith. I would expect Paul to be banged up and not to make that big of an impact. So they might just say, you know what, we trust that LeBron and company will force a Game 7. Then you just kind of put all the marbles on the table and just let Anthony Davis ride it out in Game 7. You obviously let Chris Paul. Yeah, what's up?
Sorry to interrupt, but do you do that if you're the Lakers? Because you're risking worsening Anthony Davis if they end up advancing.
Sorry, you cut off. Say that again.
I was gonna say, do you risk playing Anthony Davis if he's still hurt?
No. Well, Game 6, no, I don't expect him to. But Game 7, yes, because you're playing at the road. I would expect you're okay, well, this is literally for survival here.
Yeah, but it's like the first round, and you're risking an even bigger injury to your superstar, your young superstar. So I don't know. I can see both sides to this.
Yeah, we'll have to see. But overall, disappointing game today. I want to go ahead and transition. Boston, Brooklyn. We had a clincher this evening. No surprise here. I think everybody expected it. Before we get into this, what were your thoughts on the whole fan thing? Obviously, with Kyrie's comments leading up to going into Boston, and then what happened in Game 4 at the end. What did you think of it?
Well, I think everybody in the sports world knows Boston is just not to be offensive, but they're a racist city. They say a lot of offensive things to opposing players, and hell, even players of their own. What did Bill Russell come out and say that too? So I think it was Bill Russell, but I'm not surprised at what happened. It's so stupid to see these people you're getting arrested for throwing a water bottle. Why are you throwing a water bottle at Kyrie anyways? What did he do to you?
Did you think it was out of bounds with what he did on the half court? Not out of bounds, but do you feel like it was disrespectful?
No, not at all. Actually, it's a logo. It's not important, honestly. You could, dude. If someone took a dump on the Rockets logo at half court, I literally would not care. You're overreacting.
Yeah, I don't know the history of Lucky. Obviously, that's but I know that it's happened in the sports world. Obviously, I think Terrell Owens did that whenever he played with the Niners on the Cowboys logo, and then he got tackled. And people take or the sports community, fans and players take offense to that. But it was such a subtle thing that he did with his foot that I don't think he was I don't think he meant to catch attention or wanted people to see what he did. So he did it very subtle. So that in itself, to me, it's okay, well, everybody relax, He wasn't hey, Boston, ah!
So it's flipping the phone.
Yeah. Just rubbing his ass all over Lucky and shit. But, yeah, let's get back to Game 5, which is what happened today.
Yeah, we didn't even talk about the game yet.
Yeah. Obviously, Brooklyn pulled it out. They advance. They'll be looking to face Milwaukee. That's going to be really exciting. But I want to talk a little bit about this game. The Nets they looked great today. They shot 51%, 15 of 32 from downtown, which is 47%. Their big trio all played incredible. KD was 8 of 16, Kyrie 9 of 14, James Harden 10 of 17. Every single one of them shot at least 50% or better from the field. And everybody from those three also shot at least 43% or higher from the three-point line. The Nets are just freaking, they're a monster. They're a monster trio, man.
I don't know how many points they combined for, but they each shot less than 20 field goals, and their team just blew the Celtics out of the water towards the end. So I mean, this is exactly what I have been waiting for from the Nets, is for all three of them to just lock it in. And I could see that in the fourth quarter. I think it was KD hit the first three, Kyrie hit the second three, timeout, and then Harden hit the third three. And it was back to back to back. And then it just looked like all of them just locked it in right there and just continued to just put on a show. So I expect that to continue against Milwaukee because they finally look locked in.
Yeah. So they combined for 83 of the 123 points. So it's going to be tough for whatever opponent or whoever it is that faces them to stop that. Coming into Tuesday's game, I was checking out kind of like team stats for players who average 35 minutes per game or more in the playoffs. The top three players in offensive rating. Do you want to guess who they were?
Well, gee, I don't know.
Ding, 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 ding. Yeah, all three of them were the best offensive rating, them three, for players 35 minutes or more. It's going to be hard to stop them, man.
Yeah, I will say Milwaukee is the best matchup for them. So this is the most enticing matchup, I think, for the Nets as a someone who's like watching it.
Yeah.
But after the Bucks, if they get through them, it's just going to be easy going for the Nets, I feel like.
Yeah, agreed. So last but not least, certainly not least, I think probably the best game, not probably, definitely of the night and probably in a while that we've seen. Portland, Denver, Game 5. I don't know if you know this, but Denver was up 22 points, I believe, in the second quarter. And I remember I checked the box score whenever it was 39-59. In my head, I was so disappointed. I'm like, man, I really thought this series was going to be good. Because they've been blowing each other out, essentially, with the exception of one game. And then I checked my phone like 5 minutes later, and then I see like they went on like a 12-0 run or something along those lines. And then halftime, they cut it down to 3. And I'm like, holy shit, man. Let's fast forward basically to the second half towards in the fourth quarter, Dame time, man. That's really the only thing to talk about here.
I just feel like, not to interrupt, but like it just felt like this win was so deserving for Damian Lillard. Like, I know I put the Nuggets winning at 7, but I was literally rooting for the Blazers just because of Damian Lillard. I mean, this guy was going berserk, and then just to have his teammates sell him like that was very annoying to watch, honestly.
Yeah, to be honest with you, if it was the reverse situation, I would have probably rooted for Denver. Usually in games like with neutral situations, I root for the the underdog team, just because I want to see this extended out as much as possible. But, man, craziest freaking game I've watched by far. Like, literally in overtime, they were down by 9. Like, Denver went on, scored 9 straight points. They looked dead in the water. Yeah. And just freaking Damian Lillard. Like, that was by far the best playoff performance I've watched from him, just because I didn't watch the Game 6 between OKC and Portland. Obviously, that was the iconic game where he sent them home. But if he had pulled this out, by far, it would have been his best playoff performance, 1,000%. He already had a career high for playoff points. So, it's definitely an ESPN classic.
Yeah, I think even without the win, that's easily his best playoff performance. I mean, just the shots that he was hitting and literally everything that he was doing from the fourth quarter to double OT. God, I can't remember the stat off the top of my head, but there was only one person who made a field goal outside of him in the both OTs, and that was just literally proving how much Damian Lillard was willing his team to try and win the game.
Yeah. Expectations for Game 6. Do you think Portland is going to force a Game 7?
No, actually, I think they're going to get blown out, if I'm being honest with you. It's such a demoralizing loss, and they even said it on the broadcast, like, it's typical for, after a game like this, the team that lost more than likely is just going to get blown out, especially if it's an elimination game.
Even on the road, though? Even at home, you think they're going to get blown out?
I don't see how your confidence comes back, especially if you're Covington, Melo, and CJ. I mean, all three of them each had chances to help Lillard out, and they all screwed it up horribly.
Yeah, but honestly, man, I can't see. Like, I can like envision a Denver pulling out a victory, but I can't see it being a blown out. I just don't think it's in Damian Lillard's like blood to have his team blown out at home, like in a winner go home situation. I'm rooting for a Game 7, obviously.
Yeah.
I think we will get a Game 7. So
maybe it's just PTSD for me, like from the Rockets. Like, just it looks so like they're setting up to get blown.
I know what you're referencing. You're referencing in 2017, I believe, Spurs, Rockets. We should have won that game. James Harden got blocked by Ginobili, and then they had so many. But that series was completely different. Like, we should have won that. We should have won that game at least because Kawhi was out, and I think Tony Parker was out, and just like literally half of their starting lineup was out, and we got blown out by like 40 or something like that.
Yeah. So I don't know. I just think it's super demoralizing for a team to lose like that, and I just don't know how Lillard's going to respond either. I mean, he literally was gassed at the end. So there's a lot of different factors. I would love to see a Game 7, but I'm expecting a blowout, honestly.
Well, let's hope you're wrong. Yeah. But with that being said, we got a couple of good ones scheduled for tomorrow. We got Washington, Philly. That was a great game that we saw yesterday. We'll see if Joel Embiid ends up playing, but we'll end up having I believe 4 games tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Washington, Philly, Atlanta, New York, Memphis, Utah, Dallas Clippers. So we'll talk about, or I guess the next time we do this, it'll be on Thursday night. So you want to get a quick rundown? What do you expect to see tomorrow for those 4 games? Give me your thoughts on Washington, Philly. What do you think is going to happen? Even if Embiid, let's go ahead and pull out the scenario that Embiid doesn't play. Do you think Philly pulls it?
No. If Embiid's out, they lose. If Embiid's in, they blow him out.
Okay.
Opinion. Okay. For Knicks Hawks, I think Knicks take it regardless. Clippers Mavs, as much as I hate to say it, I think Clippers are taking that one. Unfortunately, Luka just needs help, and he's not 100%.
Yeah. And then Utah Memphis.
I think Utah wraps up the series.
Yeah. I mean, Game 5, Utah, they went in, didn't take care of business because they were playing on the road, but they actually went in there and did more than just that. They ended up fighting off Memphis.
Man, they made those games competitive. Sorry to
interrupt,
but they made it fun to watch.
No, I was actually going to go ahead and comment exactly that, but you're absolutely right. I think, obviously, with Donovan Mitchell back, it was a completely different ball game. So the only disagreement that I have with you is I think Philly ends up clinching it tomorrow. I feel like a lot of things had to go Washington's way yesterday. Like, props to Brooks for playing the Haka Ben Simmons. That definitely worked out. It slowed down their momentum, and they were able to pull it out. Even though, like, Russell Westbrook had himself a horrendous shooting game, he was still, like, pretty brilliant with the assists, still being able to get his teammates involved and make an impact. But I think Philly ends up pulling it out. They advance. The Knicks, I'm hoping they extend the series, but we'll see.
I'm excited to see the crowd, honestly.
Yeah. Trae Young. Who knows what's going to happen with the crowd, if there's going to be another crowd story or a fan story, I mean. Okay, well.
And then your take on the Clippers Mavs.
Clippers Mavs, what's it called? I'm not shocked that Clippers went in and took 2 in a row. I think I said reverse sweep, right? Not too long ago.
You did, yeah.
Yeah, and I think it'll happen, a reverse sweep. Luka is hurting. The Clippers, obviously, it's just a reversal of kind of the momentum. Mavericks choked out these 2 games. If they had split it 1-1, they still would have been in a great position, but obviously that's not the case. So I anticipate Clippers finishing them off in 6. So
I think if Luka's healthy, I think they're up 3-1, but we'll never know.
Okay. Well, that just about wraps it up for us here in this episode. We want to appreciate y'all for tuning in. Make sure you check us out on YouTube, Hoop MCs. Like, comment, share, subscribe to our channel. It means a lot. That support is, you have no idea what it means to us, for me and Nassim. If you are a preferred audio listener, you can catch us on Spotify and Apple Podcast, Hoop MCs. Check us out there. Make sure you follow, leave a review, all that good stuff. Check us out on social media. We're on Twitter and Instagram. All of that can be found in the description of whatever platform you're using to listen to this podcast. With that being said, Nassim, got anything else to wrap it up?
No, man, I like how we're doing this format right now, and I appreciate you guys tuning in, as always.
Yeah, and we will be back for post-game analysis Thursday night. Likely we'll be talking about some of these similar games that we talked about.
Yep.
All right, signing off.
All right, later, guys.
Trauma bonds, got close off of better scores. Equal pain, so we think it's equal games. Same team, but it's different hearts. Same goals, but it's different shots. Thought we was winning the same. Turns out you were just running me game. Should've known, but I couldn't guess it. It's a damn shame.